Yo, what's up guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video where I have some of my battles showcasing some of the newly buffed Pokemon Talonflame and Poliwrath together with my shiny Toxicroak, who has been with me by my side since the early days of the Go Battle League when we built him for the Ultra League. And this team put in some nice work for me, and I know what you're wondering, Denise. Rise, what the heck do you do against a jellicent? Well, we're going to see a jellicent, maybe even two in this video, and we are able to pull off some shenanigans against jellicent. So I do admit jellicent is a bit of a core breaker for this team, that's for sure, but it's not like an automatic loss, I would say. You still have some play against it. You can also run Fly, of course, on Talonflame. I opted to run Brave Bird just because I felt like people are less likely to expect Brave Bird right now, and you might be able to land more of them. In this first battle, we took down the Nido, I believe, unless they swapped out. And we come in here with Poly. They eventually catch onto their own Poly, I think. Yeah, Poly running rampant these days. He is everywhere. They've got a shiny on their side, so I'm going to get off 2 Icy Wind debuffs. And then I'm going to come in with my Toxicroak and go for a massive farm down, potentially. That might be a little bit too bold, actually. I think I'm probably going to have to throw at some point. We are running Shadow Ball, and, you know, Sludge Bomb would have been a little bit better for us in this game, because Sludge Bomb would have been able to threaten the Mandibuzz. And, you know, if we look at this little instant replay here, by me swapping and then throwing after one, I think I allow Mandibuzz to get an entire free air slash. So a bit of a mistake by me. Let's see. We go for the Shadow Ball here. Does Mandibuzz get 3 air slashes? I swap 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 full air slashes. That is not good. I probably should have thrown one more Incinerate before throwing, and maybe I would have reached this next one. But because of my poor timing, we give Mandibuzz a huge advantage. We're going to put up a shield here. Mandibuzz is going to need to get to 2 more Aerial Aces, but it very well may, as it has lots of energy. It's going to be really close. And actually, this Aerial Ace is probably enough after the Air Slash damage. So a tough loss there. And that shows you how important timing is. If I threw with better timing there, I think we probably win that game. But it is what it is. Tough way to start it off. Let's see if we can come back. We have some adversity in rank 15. The haters are saying, Rise, you can't hit rank 16 this season. Well, let's show them. Here we go. Going up against Casey, lovely gal. And this is the dreaded Jellymeister lead. The haters, Denise is laughing right now. Haha, Rise, I told you can't beat Jellicent lead. Let's see what you do here. Well, we're going to play it out, Denise. Casey is going to throw another Surf here, and I'm going to be forced to throw right away since I'm already at 100 energy. Going to go for the Brave Bird. It does connect, which is nice for us. So we had to go down to shield here, but we're already at this second Brave Bird. Does Casey decide to let it go? She does. So Jelly's gone bye-bye. And now once Jelly is gone, there is no answer to our back line. So suddenly this game looks quite favorable. Gonna go for the Scald here. And at this point, I was like not 100% sure if I can live this and get to another move. But you see how well Poly tanks that. Tanks it with enough health, even without a debuff, to the point where Reggie can't even lock on down. Reggie's gonna have to throw at some point to get rid of us. Go for another Scald, and we actually knock out the Reggie. And then this is always the best feeling in the world. Let me know in the comments, is there any better feeling than debuffing the last Pokemon on the opposing team? I don't know about that. Keep it PG-13, actually. Keep it PG-13. As I was saying it, that sounded a little bit you know what. So keep it PG-13. Otherwise, you're going to upset Toxicroak. He's going to be really upset with you as he takes down the Cobalion. Really dominant matchup there for Toxicroak. Once we got rid of the Jelly, it was smooth sailing in the back. GG's to Casey. Next battle going up against Carlos. Talon versus Guzz. So I have 2 better answers, so I'm just going to swap Poly immediately. He swaps into Tenta, which isn't great for us. I mean, we don't really have any charge moves to threaten this Tentacruel, so it's going to be very difficult for us to flip switch advantage. So we're just kind of thinking like, how do we get some sort of advantage here? One positive is Talonflame is avoiding Tentacruel, so that would be even worse matchup for us. Would really love to get a Scald debuff. Maybe a Scald debuff would allow me to get to a third move here. No Scald debuff, a little bit unlucky. Any way we can live and get to a move here, let's see. Nope, Scald knocks us out. Can't really come in with Talon, right? Because he would get to another Scald first, so I'm forced to come in with Tox. I go for the Mud Bomb on the charge move priority. And he actually shields it, believe it or not. A little bit worried about getting Acid Spray baited here, so I didn't really want to shield, but I figured I kind of need my Toxicroak to deal with that Guzzlord later on. I get a little bit greedy here. I probably should have thrown that Mud Bomb immediately. But luckily, no debuff for us. And there is a Poliwrath in back. So this game's not completely over just yet. Go for the Shadow Ball. We get the shield. I try to catch to just sacrifice my Talon. And our opponent messes up. He preserves the energy for the Toxicroak later on. But what's going to happen here is because I'm running Brave Bird, boom, it does massive damage. And if we can live this move after we debuff ourselves from the Guzzlord, which we do, we come out with a Brave Bird. And we're going to Brave Bird the Poliwrath. So I understand the opponent's thought process, but I think he would have been much better off just scalding my Talonflame and like doing so much damage. And I think he would have been fine. So I think a bit of a miscalculation there. It makes sense from the opponent's point of view that he wanted to save the Scald for the Toxicroak, assuming his Guzzlord could just handle the Talonflame. But didn't work out that way. Sometimes if your opponent, me in this case, I'm the opponent, gives you a chance to just absolutely destroy something with the charge move, you take that chance. Slick Rick is our next opponent. Oh, wait, no. Is that the same game? I'm staying, so it must be different. Because last game I just swapped straight Poly. Another Guzzlord? Okay, we Brave Bird and then we go Poly. Met by Golisopod. Kind of bad, assuming it's running Aerial Ace. If it was running X-Scissor, it wouldn't be that bad, because he could only hit us for resisted damage. A debuff would be really nice here, because then the next Aerial Ace won't really threaten to knock out. So debuff here is really nice, actually. And you see how much my counters are doing. Counter, as we all know, probably the best fast move in the game. Extremely good damage and solid energy gain as well. Another Scald coming through. Another attack drop. And check out this. Poly actually gets the simul KO against Golisopod. That is ridiculous. Debating what we want to come in with here. We are concerned if there's a Guzzlord lead. You would think the Backbon is weak to Tox. But I guess not. He came in with Guzz. He did a Dragon Tail, and 2 counters knocked him out. He needed to throw his energy right away there. So, opponent probably wishes they could have had that game back, but we will take it. Yayo, the next opponent. Pre-Marina. Don't see this too often. I stay in to see whether it's Waterfall or Charm, and since it's Charm, I'm perfectly comfortable just staying in here. And, you know, I actually decide, like, with the Incinerate buff, I'm probably just going to go straight Flame Charge. Like, he might even shield, which he does. And look at these Incinerates adding up. I'm not really threatened by the fast moves. So, I'm perfectly fine just ramping up here. Move coming through from Pre-Marina. Probably like a Disarming Voice or a Psychic. And he comes in with Empoleon. We have a great response with our Poliwrath here. Takes Empoleon 5 waterfalls to get to a Drill Peck. So I know if I can KO in 8 here, I'm chilling. I think it only took 7. And now we have energy to threaten this Pre-Marina. So this matchup is looking really good right now. Unless there's some sort of core breaker in the back. It is a Trev, but because, man, Poliwrath is just so good with energy. Because that ice water coverage hits so many things So even against the grass type, we debuffed the last Pokemon. Anything better than that? Comments. And we still had a decent chunk of health on our Talonflame. So a 4-1 set there. As we hit rank 16, let's go. We did it. And it's on to the next one. Talon versus a Shadow Poliwrath. Oh, let's see. Okay, I guess I'm willing to stay in. The reason I think I'm willing to stay in is because... Oh, and he actually went straight for Icy. So if you're the Poly in this situation, in my opinion, you should at least build up to Scald, to threaten the Scald, because now I can freely just Brave Bird. He catches it on a Muck, but to be honest, this is fine with me because I have a great response to this Muck. Could have come in with Poly as well, but Toxicroak just really walls Muck. Probably Acid Sprays us here. Yeah, gonna Acid Spray. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get the full counter down as he would have reached the next Acid Spray. We've got all this energy for whatever comes in against us. Poliwrath comes in. I'm going to unleash the Shadow Ball. The new move for Toxicroak. Boom, big damage. And our opponent lags, I guess. But to be honest, with the Drapion in back, even if the Poly didn't lag there, maybe it gets off an Icy Wind, I think our own Poliwrath still had the back matchup covered against this Drapion. I'm sure all you guys watching in the comments would have purposely waited till the Poliwrath caught up in the moment, right? Wink. I'm sure all you would have. The only person I've ever seen actually do that is King. If King's opponents lag, he'll like stop until they like catch up. He's the only person I've seen do that. I don't know if he still does that. Brave Bird coming through. And this should knock out the Shadow Drapion. I'm also running a Shadow Drapion team, which we will feature in a video soon. Not sure if I'll double post today or if we'll save that for tomorrow, but might post it later today. Oh, Henry. Oh, Henry. Auto parts. Don't worry. I know that's not the real thing. So opponent messes up here by throwing right at 5. So in these early ranks, you might see some opponents that aren't super high-level players, like Denise. If there's someone actually watching this video named Denise, let me know. I didn't mean to pick on you. It's just kind of a joke. We swap, and we get hard punished by this Cresselia. So this is pretty rough. The only positive thing here is our Toxicroak avoids the Cresselia, but, like, this is not a matchup you want to be in. You see how much the charge move does. No debuff. Dude, what's our debuff rate this video? I feel like it's like 12%. Or like 1 out of 8 or something. No, I think I'm exaggerating. I think it's better than that. But Icy Wind will guarantee the debuff. Probably should have Icy Winded first, because I would have taken a debuff charge move the first time and maybe would have lived. So a bit of a miscalculation by me. Gonna force him to show whether he has Future Sight or not before I decide to shield. Gonna go for the Flame Charge here. Hopefully this knocks out and doesn't allow Cresselia to get to another move. We do know that the Giratina has energy, but once again, the opponent gets scared and they throw right away. So I'm going to just Brave Bird here. Either I knock out or I get a shield and then put it all on my Toxicroak. And what's in back? Let's go, baby. Registeel. I think we actually called it during this battle live. Like, okay, Giratina, Cresselia, what's in back? Probably like a Registeel. Just because it's like a super bulky legendary team. Like the 3 most kind of meta Ultra League Pokemon there are. And a nice win there. Here we go. On to the next one. Get a sneak peek. Looks like a Skarmory lead in our next battle. Going up against Trino. Solid lead for us. But in comes Jellicent, which we don't really have an answer to. So immediately we're in a little bit of trouble. A little bit of trouble. Jelly throws right away. So I'm going to safely do 1 Incinerate and throw Brave Bird. Really would love it if this lands. But it does not. So, huge core breaker. We were able to beat the last Jellicent in the lead because our opponent let it go. And I make a poor call here, taking the Shadow Ball. And check it out. We go for a Shadow Ball. Our opponent shields. And, our opponent wisely recognizes how weak we are to Jellicent, that they're willing to go down 2 shields to keep on protecting it. And now it's like, what the heck do I do? I could have double shielded Toxicroak there. But then the concern is like, what if I double shield and then they swap Scarm and then I have to unload that energy on Scarm? Suddenly, it's kind of rough. So I'm aware he's probably going to try and catch the Brave Bird. So I keep that energy for later. The problem is our Talonflame is quite low. So I don't know if Talonflame is going to have enough left in the tank to take out everything that's left. Gonna go for the Scald here. In a perfect world, I could, well, no, there's no perfect world right now. I was going to say, like, counter down before they get off another move, but that wasn't going to happen. I stopped tapping here. The reason for this is, what good does it really do me if I farm down the Swampert? I simply just give farm for the Jellicent and I lose, in my opinion. So going to go for the Brave Bird here, but the opponent wisely comes in with the Jelly because I have to debuff myself, and now the Steel Wings are going to do more damage to my Talonflame. So despite us getting a great lead, we just had no answer for Jellicent this game, and Trino was too good. Destroys us in front of my stream chat. I was all embarrassed. I cried. And then I'm just kidding. I didn't cry. I just went to the next game. Drive Cash is the next opponent. Yikes, dude. Tough lead, but we do have 2 answers, so we'll swap in to Poliwrath. Oh, wait, is this the crazy? Oh, this might be the crazy game. Okay. So, once again, I probably should have just Icy Winded right away, because then I live 2 Grass Knots, it appears. Because that Grass Knot is like just under half health. So if I had simply just Icy Winded right away, I guess I didn't learn my lesson. I get to another Scald, which is kind of nice because this will do a solid chunk. Maybe give me a full farm down. And we do get an attack drop. So let's go, baby. Another move coming through from Cress. Another Grass Knot. And yeah, I'm going to try and commit to a full farm here. If he gets risky and gives up Swap, I could eventually align my Toxicroak with the Greninja. So I think the full farm down here is certainly the play. Gonna come out of here with 100 energy. Over 100. I'm expecting Greninja to come in, and I was debating here. Debating. That's kind of funny. But I went for it, and luckily it landed, and that's massive. And then it's like, there's a Slowking, and I'm like, bro, did this guy stream snipe us? Like, what is this? Like, there's no way he's running Confusion Slowking. I go for the Shadow Ball, though, and it lands. It lands through 2 shields. I don't know if he didn't know or what. So this got me thinking he probably isn't sniping, and he probably just like happened to completely hard counter us with this obscure team. And then this was so awkward. It's like, do I commit to fast moves or do I throw this? I decided to throw this to boost my Incinerate damage. He should be at... Oh, he messed up. He could have done one and throw, and he would have won. But he threw on alignment, giving me the free Incinerate, and I win the game because of that. That's crazy, dude. We just won. We just won Talon into Greninja, Poliwrath met by Cresselia, and Toxicroak into Slowking. Obviously, the opponent should have won that game if they played correctly. But for those that say the game is completely luck, there certainly is a luck element, right? But that's a good demonstration where our opponent could not have hard countered us much more. But because of some misplays by them, we were able to flip it. In comes opposing Talon. The opponent Ancient Powering us is pretty brutal. I go for the Brave Bird. It lands. That's big for me. And now I'm hoping I can shield once and get the full counter down before they get to a second fly. So they do reveal the fly there, and we do get the counter down. That's huge. So now Giratina comes in, and we have energy ready to go. So this is a really solid matchup for Poly. Even though it's a counter user against a Ghost, I would still consider this a favorable matchup for Poliwrath, especially if you're up energy like this. Because Giratina already is so bulky, it's not like its moves are doing very much to Poly, and then you add the debuff, suddenly they're doing even less. Poly looking mean, looking fierce. Let's see what our opponent decides to do. Another Claw comes through. They swap into Scarm. This is a little bit concerning. This is a little bit concerning. I swap in Tox here. And I decide to let the Sky Attack go through, thinking after a debuff I can tank it. I do tank it. And, you know, I go for the Mud Bomb bait here, thinking my opponent has to shield, because he's going for the Steel Wing down farm. And check it out, our opponent doesn't actually shield. So if I just Shadow Balled there, I probably just win on the spot. But our opponent called it, which I wasn't expecting. I do get the counter down with Poly, but he still has 2 shields to hide behind. And because my counters are double resisted, of course, this game is not over. I swap in Talon. I get off this. But in the process, I'm giving him more energy. And now he's got a ton of energy here. And we're pretty much in Claw range. So I decide to take it, knowing he's probably already at double Claw or so. And we lose that one. So if I had simply just Shadow Balled the Skarmory, I think we win. So well played by the opponent. Outplayed us there. And we finished that set 3-2. So a nice couple of sets with this team. Do I recommend this team? I think it's solid. And I think it's very accessible for most people. But I would say Jellicent is awfully tough. So Denise did have a fair criticism with the Jellicent. In the lead, it's not quite as bad. And yeah, in the lead, it's not quite as bad because I think they're not really going to respect the Brave Bird the first time. But when they swap it in like they did, that's kind of rough because then you have to basically stay in with your Talonflame unless you want to like go into Toxicroak. But if they start shielding Shadow Ball, then you're even more doomed because they can overfarm. So yeah, very weak to Jellicent, of course. But I still think a solid team in general. Every team's going to be weak to something. And I think you just got to try and minimize those weaknesses or at least have a plan if you see one of those weaknesses. So all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you are new, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And all that said, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.